Hello, Taurus friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Taurus November 2024 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Taurus is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Taurus placements you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Taurus friend, so birthdays like May 15th for the rest of the sign, or 23-degree Taurus placements through the end of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Gemini report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Calling the theme of this month full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus, because that is happening. And although we have a ton of other things to talk about, because there are so many different astrological factors that will affect you at this time, and I'm going to give you a nice detailed list, I am going to start with the one that I am titling here. Fullness, completion, fruition, drama tend to come with full moons. We generally only get one full moon in our sign a year. So when it happens, it's a big deal. It can be a very elucidating process, and we can't underestimate the power of moon astrology. So I am going to lead with this because it's your full moon and it's conjunct Uranus. So yeah, a lot to know there. So let's build up this story a little bit to help you understand. When the full moon comes, the sun is shining its light on the moon and it's receding it. And all of this elucidation is occurring. So things are brought out of the unconscious space, out of the subconscious space, out of the deep grooves of, patterning, and brought right up in your face. And this can be very, very emotional, even when it's a full moon in an earth sign, a grounded sign. But because of the nature of earth energies, this can be a brilliant time for material manifestation. So that's one of the first things that we can expect to see in our big potential list is a notable manifestation of a very material nature. Something financial, something in the psychology of your finances, like confidence boosting, that is like a game changer, a major purchase, a major sale, major insights, a new income stream, a new reverence or appreciation or alignment with ecologically moving through life, because the earth is the earth. And while the material plane may be the things we have on the earth, it's also the things that were intrinsic to the earth from the natural standpoint. So we've got, this fullness, completion, fruition drama. And this is happening all in the days around November 15th. So we'll give it, at least 4 days before, give it at least 4 days after for the most powerful times. But, this is a building process that we feel in the weeks before and then tone down to the weeks after. So if you are feeling like an insomniac, maybe it's the moon, if you're feeling like something is wanting to come out of you and you're up all night creating, that's the moon. If you're feeling extra volatile or emotional, it's probably also the moon. So in general, this month is a lot lighter and easier and flowing, better in general than September and October, because those months had just a massive amount of nuisance aspects, really bad sweet to salty aspect ratio, as I like to call it, 2 eclipses, and just a lot going on. And this month, we've got this full moon bringing these things to fruition, but it's under a sky that's less busy, and that does affect the whole general scene. So let's talk about some specific things about what this full moon at 24 degrees of Taurus, conjunct Uranus, in your first house, in your sign, can look like. The first thing to know is that a theme here will be stability meets change. As Taurus is a sign that values stability and security and comfort and consistency. It thrives on routines, enjoys predictability. But when Uranus is involved, all that gets thrown out the window. There may be a need for a shakeup at your very essence, and Uranus can force these new ways of thinking and living and being. So it may be a wake-up call, or it may be a genius idea. A conjunction is not by nature a bad or pressured aspect, like a square or an opposition, or in conjunct. A conjunction can be just as powerfully good as it can be powerfully, naughty. So there's nothing about this conjunction that says it has to be bad. But the odds of it being intense are very likely, because when you have, a bright full moon with an outer planet right next to it, the planet of surprises, the planet of weirdness and, eccentricities and things out of the blue, it's definitely, you'll definitely feel it. So in general, a full moon in your sign can bring a highlight to your personal needs and your self-expression. That's compliments of being in your first house from the, this solar chart perspective. Combined with Uranus, this can bring revelations about yourself, where you figure something else about, figure something out about yourself that basically you've always known on some level, or that was unconscious. You may feel a sudden urge to break free from routines or habits or addictions. You may have a breakthrough with birth trauma, something that happened, in your birth or when you were young. There may be some sort of, foundational piece that you discover. You could discover relatives from the past or something shocking. In general, Uranus has rebellious energy, and combined with the full moon's culmination, can prompt this need for independence. And the first house is very much about independence. So that's a very big deal. And the freedom loving aspect of this might also prompt the need for freedom from situations that are no longer serving you. So it could feel uncomfortable, but it could be very necessary. And it could be something you've been avoiding, but came to you anyway. There's definitely this energy of breakthroughs and shifts, innovation and surprises, sudden changes in your personal life or your finances, an unexpected opportunity to shake up, anything in your life, to reinvent yourself. But we have to remember that we're working with a retrograde lens, and we will get into that. So you may feel this need to break free, but it's not necessarily the best month to make a huge life-changing decision or do something super permanent, because the Mercury retrograde web, the Mars retrograde web, all does not speak to that happening. Okay, there could be exceptions. You could have something else going on in your individual chart. In general, feeling that need to do something and taking long-term actions on it might not be the best way to do that. While we're on the topic, before I continue going here, everyone in the Taurus spectrum, moon, rising, sun, whatever your placement is, can have all of these things that I'm talking about here. This is all ripe opportunity for all of you. You may feel this more personally or more noticeably if your degree is near 24 degrees. So we'll say between 19 degrees and 29 degrees is giving a 5-degree orb in either direction. So this can be like May 12th, 13th through the 22nd, 23rd, like the end of the sign. And then the closer to around, the 18th, 19th, there's this, exact connection. So you may feel it more notably if you're in that zone, but you're not precluded from any of the things we're talking about if you're not in that zone. You could see the changes manifest through your financial or material possessions. Uranus may push you to think outside the box when it comes to income and resources. You might experience unexpected expenses or an unexpected windfall, some kind of financial liberation or a new source of income, a breakthrough or breaking free of limiting financial beliefs. There could be something having to do with your health or physical body, or getting thrown into the limelight, because when there's a full moon in the first house, a lot of times we become very visible. So all of these things can happen at this full moon time. And Uranus there is the wild card. So I could actually talk about this for much longer, but we do have a lot of other things to talk about. The last thing that I want to say about the full moon is that it's a fantastic time to do what I call reveal and release ceremonies, where you ask to have a subject or information or a block revealed to you. You do your prayer, you do your meditation, you do your ceremony, whatever feels good to you. to have a block to something in your life revealed and released, So it's really, really good for bringing things up and out. Okay, so most of the discussion for this month is going to center around the 6th, 7th, and 8th houses. Podcast friends, I'm putting the chart as the thumbnail. So if you want to look over there to the right side and you recognize any of these things. Also, I want to have a quick discussion about Mars and add it to the mix of what's going on. Maybe we'll start with that and roll the retrogrades in. So Mars has been moving for a couple of months through your 3rd house. As it's been in Cancer, it's been getting everybody really focused on home and family and housing, like a little border collie hot on getting things situated with home and family and housing in the sign of Cancer. And now as it moves to the sign of Leo, it moves through the house of Cancer for Taurus. So this home and family and housing and inner work and inner psychology and childhood psychology focus that may have been coming up in September and October from the sign placement of Mars may now continue to double down through the house placement for you. Okay, so this is going to be not only a long-term transit, as we're seeing it be longer than usual, it can be even longer because the retrograde is going to encompass Leo and Cancer for its whole forward moving and then retrograde and then back moving. So that means it's going to go back into your 3rd house. It's going to go back into your 4th house. It's going to be dancing back and forth between these realms from now, pretty much until May of next year. So expect an extended focus on home and family. Expect an extended focus on Leo energy, which rules the 5th house, but will be going through your 4th house. And that has to do with children and romance and true love and your hobbies and the things that you find fun, that give you pleasure and enjoyment, that really make life feel worth living. So this is a deep dive into taking a lot of your eggs and taking them from whatever other baskets they may be in and putting them back in the family and home and housing and fun basket. Now, a lot of Tauruses that I know work a lot. They're very, 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 diligent with their work. And sometimes it's really hard for them to have work-life balance as a result. But the work they're doing is for their family anyway, or for someone that feels like family or something like that. So, it's never really about the work. It's more about what you're doing the work for. So a lot of you will already have your priorities in order here. But in any places where there needs to be fine tuning, this is a time where you start to, equalize some focus in your life if you have been wandering too far away from being with the family and also your own expression. Leo is your enthusiastic heart song. The 3rd house that includes part of this transit is, your spoken word, your written word, communicating with others through many different mediums. So Mars is doing a big job here. So the next piece is that you do have a very loaded 6th house with a lot of Libra planets still, Vesta, South Node, Lilith, Estrella, Juno, all in the sign of Libra, still making relationships a very big focus and focusing on your health and pets and your daily routine and trying to shake up your daily routine, maybe walking with a friend or going to the gym with a friend. Anything that you need help with your animals or your health or getting your office organized may involve getting the help from other people. And that's a big message for you now. Then we've got the story of the sun, the new moon on November 1st at 9 degrees of Scorpio, and Mercury for a little while longer, all moving through Scorpio, all moving through your 7th house, all opposing your sign. All right, so quick story about that is me versus we, trying to get the stuff you needed to get done versus the things that people need you to do, going deeper and more intimate with these Scorpio relationships and deeper into financial dealings. Although with the lens of the retro, we want to keep our commitments light, flexible, and shorter term interim arrangements because it doesn't lend itself to big term commitments, big long commitments right now. You will change your mind, you will lose steam, or they will, or something about it was something you didn't realize, and you'll wish you had left some flexibility. So that's a big thing to know about the retro. on November 1st, making wishes around intimacy, around better financial consciousness, especially with shared resources, about spiritual breakthroughs. Oh, and by the way, if you hear that ruckus in the background, that's a hurricane. So sorry about that, but I'm doing the best I can to get everything recorded while we have power, and hopefully we will maintain power. But yeah, it's starting to get a little wild out there now, so I figured I may as well mention it. Anyway, so making those new moon wishes and setting intentions around relationships, seventh house, and around Scorpio with, this deep, rich place where you get the gems, like where you dig deep and get the minerals out of the earth. It's like that within yourself, digging deep to find those gems within yourself, digging deep to find those gems within your relationships with others. You can make those wishes in the days around November 1st. All of you will get the goodies from that. You may feel it more intensely if you are an April born. So those of you between around April 25th and around May 5th or 6th, and the closer to around April 30th, May 1st, etc., the more you may get a noticeable effect from this opposition energy. Mercury will only be in Scorpio a little while longer, a few days in, and it will buzz right out of there. And usually this is a Scorpio-dominated month, which in some ways is good for Taurus because water energies flow better with Earth than the other elements. But it's highly emotional, and in opposition, it can be super stressful. So you may be glad in some ways that Mercury is moving on to Sag super fast. Venus and Pallas Athena are already in Sagittarius. The Sun will be getting to Sag November 23rd, and then on November 30th or December 1st, depending on your time zone, there's a new moon in Sag too. And that's at 9 degrees as well. So a ton of Sag energy. And guess what energy Sag lights up for you? Scorpio. So you're not getting out of those deep relationship focus spots, but the Sag energy brings more lightness, more enthusiasm, more effervescence, more solution-oriented thinking, more adventures, just more camaraderie. And the Scorpio energy can be very heavy, and in opposition for you, it's really pulling you asunder, pulling you in two directions. But moving into this configuration here with Sagittarius leaves you open to some more breaths of fresh air, some more freedom, just some better flow in a lot of ways. Now, I do want to dive a little deeper into what all of this energy in Sagittarius can mean. It is a little bit early. Usually November 22nd, 23rd, we start to get this going, but right from the beginning of the month, and even starting earlier than November, the Sag energies are happening. So we have an extended Sagittarius season. This can be a little bit of a nuisance. It can be a little bit all over the place for Tauruses. It can be extra busy, a little bit too much, not having enough bandwidth for all of the information going on. But there are a lot of things to know here. But before that, I want to talk about the retrogrades because this is very critical. The whole month is cloaked in deepening Mars retrograde and fully Mercury retrograde. So let's give some timelines and give like a few of the basic things to know here. Mars pre-shadow transit started October 8th, deepens the whole time until December 6th. So here we are in November. Every day we move through November, it's getting closer to this. We'll talk about what that means soon. I just want to get the dates down. November 8th is the pre-shadow transit period. November 25th is the retrograde. December 14th goes direct, and January 3rd is when it gets its full power back. So November and December are completely covered in retrograde, both of them, Mars and Mercury. And that means three things. Well, it means more than that, but we're going to go with three. One is to leave yourself as unscheduled as possible. Things that are set will become unglued or be tested at this time. And the less you schedule, if you have to schedule something, then just do it. But it's the unnecessary things. It's the extra things. It's the trying to do all this extra stuff that isn't very well supported. So leave yourself as unscheduled as possible. First of all, to avoid having to reschedule things, which will be a nightmare. And also because then you leave yourself open for last minute magic, which is one of the traits that I like to describe retrogrades as having as being very positive. The second thing to know about retrogrades is that you want to be the spider. Your time for active web weaving and weaving webs all over the place was until around October 7th. And then as we started sliding into Mars retrograde, it's a time to let our ambitions wane. Taurus people tend to be very ambitious, and I have Aries rising and a ton of Sagittarius, so I'm super ambitious and a lot of Capricorn placements. I'm sure that helps. But the point is that I always look forward to Mars retrograde so that I take a relaxation time from myself. And you may find that you take a relaxation time from yourself by being the spider, hanging out in your web, the webs you've already made, resting on some of your laurels, eating the fruits of your labor already, and just chilling out and see what comes to you. And along these same lines, you stay on the shore at the beach and you let the tides bring things into you. Because I always describe, this is my unique way of describing retrogrades, is that like the tides are coming in. So things come to you, whether it's garbage that you have to deal with, you got to deal with it. If it's a dolphin saying hello, you get to say hi. But you trying to put a boat afloat or push things out, the tide's just going to push it right back. So why bother? Just chill out. Hang out on the beach, see what comes to you. And throughout the whole retrograde time, which is well into next year, being the earthworm, where you just go back over the things right in front of you or things from the past, making fine soil for the future growth. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this 8th house. What you might see from this transit, these transits through Sagittarius through your 8th house, are interesting things going on with shared finances, notable investment, debt, inheritance topics. Venus and Mercury being there may be opportunities to reassign or reassess or negotiate shared resources, keeping that tilt towards the retrograde with interim agreements or short-term agreements to just kind of bridge a gap. Things involving a business partner or a spouse or a financial institution. Sagittarius here can encourage you to think big, right? Because that's what Sag does. And so you may want to expand your vision. Scorpio goes deep and Sagittarius goes wide. So you've got the width and the breadth of Sag and the depth of Scorpio and the combination of whatever that can look like. You might receive financial support at this time or experience a shift in how you manage shared wealth or assets, or have something notable about legacy or wills or, inheritances or something like that. Or you may just pay off debt, or you may, have access to a loan or a refi, something like that. Venus there can definitely help the money picture since that rules money, but it can also deepen intimacy and help you have a focus on shared emotional experiences and healing of old emotional wounds, and confront anxieties or fears about your place in the money world or your place in your relationship world. Something that can happen from this is personal growth, and it can come through therapy or inner work or adventurous exploration of the unknown frontiers of your inner world. You can also feel this urge to explore mystical and hidden knowledge. So this is a big thing. This is the lesser seen realms, and Sagittarius always wants to go excessive. So you could just dive deep into teaching and learning, educating, or find a school program you love, or sharing information you've discovered. And that would be very in line with Sagittarius, because Sagittarius rules education in all of its forms, and publishing and writing and speaking and long distance travel and immigration and international business. All of those topics can come up. The 8th house ruled by Scorpio also governs power dynamics in relationships and in all kinds of situations involving shared resources. So the sun here may be a spotlight to show you where things have to be dealt with, or may give you extra power or extra confidence, or, give you a way to have some extra say in shared areas of your life. The energy of power struggle can definitely come up. And like I said, there could be a renegotiation. Retrogrades tend to bring in reassess, renegotiate, redo. So it's definitely an assessment process. So, your to-dos, your to-do list for this time is to set some short-term financial goals, paying off debt or saving or investing. Invest in emotional conversations with people. explore mysticism. All of these can be good to-do lists. See what you have to do to release emotional baggage. And really just dive very deep into personal healing. Maybe by planning a transformational adventure, or doing that with a friend, or a partner, or somebody close to you. If you like my work, make sure to click the bell, subscribe, click the bell. I've heard if you don't click the bell, you won't get notifications. And then if you enable notifications, you're more likely also to get them. So subscribe, click the bell, enable notifications. All of these will help you to get my work delivered right to you. I will have a special report in November called November Nuisances, where I talk about some pretty dicey aspects that I didn't have time to get into in these reports. But overall, it's not dicey aspects that are ruling this month. It's actually a very sweet, very, much easier flowing month, especially compared to September, October. As I told you, much less busy skies. The Sag energy brings lightness and freedom and optimism, less bad aspects, more sweet aspects. It's just an overall really nice month, but there are a couple of things to be aware of. So definitely you can look out for my November nuisances, which I will post close to November. Okay, so I've given you some dates to note for this month. If you want more dates because you want to see the sweet dates, the salty dates, what are the best days to do what are the best days to be awareful and careful of, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, and then click receive. And then you'll get into your inbox my welcome letter. In the archive, click on the archive link and put November 2024 astrology in the archive link, and that will bring you to my November write-up. Okay, so plus you'll get all kinds of goodies, and I'm always thinking of new ways to get goodies to my free VIP crew, which is what you become when you sign up there. You'll get my free 28-day, very comprehensive virtual coaching program for free. You'll get a Train Your Brain subliminal audio to relax and unwind to help you stay calm during tough astrological transits. You'll access my wonderland of astrology education to help you align with the natural rhythms of the month. I do send out monthly mini astrology lessons, and you do have access to all the archives as a member of my free VIP community. You also get access to my eclipse resource page to understand those cycles as they go through, and my health tips for the zodiac signs. So you just get so much. You can find it all in the welcome letter, so you can go there. Now on that same page, if you scroll down, you can access my secret star portal. This is where you will find my 2025 retrograde direct calendar for your planning, to know the open windows for next year, the times that will be much easier to push things out when the tides are going out. And if you want to learn astrology, I'm your girl. I've got a ton of free things. Obviously, if you're listening to my work, you see that I'm teaching for free online. But if you want a more structured system and you want to learn how to become a professional astrologer, either just to help yourself and your family and friends or to earn money, that is my area of expertise. I've been teaching astrology for 20 years. I've been a successful astrologer for 20 years. And also a successful online practitioner for a good bit of that time. And it all comes through in my Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So you can click on Up Level there and see my basics course, or what you get that course for free when you join the Professional Astrology Certification course. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.